Hi everybody, welcome to or welcome back to my channel, My Yard Sale. I'm David, thanks for stopping in. Today I'm going to tell a little bit about the situation that I've had in the last couple of weeks. Mostly it's weather related, weather problems, cold problems, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my health and maybe a touch about current events. So where I live in the Northeast. Right around Christmas, it was so freaking cold. It was very cold. And I had some work done on my property where the gas company came out and shut off a gas line. And the gas line they shut off, they thought was to a different building, but it was actually to my house. And then the freezing temperatures ended up freezing out a couple of radiators and some pipes, and I'm still trying to get that resolved. I'll be happy maybe this next week I'll be able to get that resolved. The of course the company that's taking care of it was super excited to address it because it was this. When you talk about boilers in the Northeast, it's very expensive and probably very profitable, I guess. But you can't live without heat in the Northeast, so I'm having them try to resolve that. Half my house has heat, the other half does not have heat, and that's very frustrating. Like I'm afraid that if we get another round of like super cold weather, I'm gonna have a whole half of my house that's not heated. So I'm trying to get them on focus to get the rest of the house resolved. So that's something I've been dealing with the last couple of weeks. That's been very difficult. Now, health. So health for me, like I will say, I'm going to admit, because I want to be fully transparent just in case there's people that are experiencing some of the same stuff that I'm experiencing. For quite some time, I tried to add pea protein and just protein shakes into my diet to try to up my protein a little bit. And at that point, I was eating a lot of burger patties and cheese. And thinking back, I do feel like I was resolving some issues, resolving some physical issues when I was eating that way. And the more I leaned onto the pea protein and the pea protein shakes, the worse things kind of got. That's kind of interesting because pea protein should be um, very low carb, and the stuff that I add into it is all very low carb, non-GMO, non. It's all organic. I use quality products: cinnamon, cacao, allulose sweetener. I don't use any sugar. I did use sugar for a little bit, and that kind of pushed me up against the edge where I had to address what I was eating and stop. And one of you guys had focused on what one of you guys had noticed on one of my posts that maybe my shake was, even though everything reads as healthy, maybe it wasn't as healthy as I thought. And I do feel like I'm sort of getting to a point where maybe it's not as healthy as I thought. So I'm going back to next week. I'm going back to burger patties and cheese again, at least for the next week to 2 weeks, to try to get back to where I was before. And some of the things that I've been experiencing, just in case any of you folks are experiencing any of this, like my balance degrades, it gets worse. It makes it so that I can still stand up and walk away from this chair I'm sitting in, but it's a little tiny bit more questionable. And I have to make sure that I have double hands on all the stuff I'm gonna handhold from where I'm at to where I'm heading, because I will fall down. I have fallen down. I fell down a couple weeks ago, going from my bathroom to my bed, and somehow I kicked my foot out into my bedstand, and I thought I broke a toe, but I think I didn't break it. It's starting to heal and feel a little bit better now. Um, so yeah, this whole health thing, I'm not sure what to make of it because I should be getting better. I do kind of feel like getting back to mostly eating beef, eggs, and cheese again makes the most sense because I was feeling a little bit better. A lot of my body issues kind of resolved. Actually, even after that, some of my body issues resolved with switching to the protein shakes. Like, I'm pretty sure I've been having body issues for probably years. And some of those resolved getting the sugar out of my diet completely. And then when I added the sugar back in, it started gradually getting worse and worse again. And now now that the sugar's completely out, I'm starting to feel like some of those things are starting to resolve. And I think that's all glycation. And I don't know exactly what glycation is. I try to look it up, I try to research it, and they don't really have a whole lot of information on it. Most of the stuff on glycation that I've seen, they talk about your skin being bad. And yeah, I get it. My skin wasn't great, but there's more to glycation than just skin. Like there's joints, cartilage, like there's a lot of stuff inside the body that advanced glycation endpoints affects. Like it adds this whole advanced glycation endpoints. That's where the sugar in your body connects to and attaches to ligaments and cartilage, and the things that I've read have said that it will stiffen up joints. It'll stiffen up. It'll stiffen everything up, and that's exactly what I've been experiencing. So, so now I've got the sugar out, and I am trying to get the pea protein out, even though the protein drinks was a big portion of the protein that I was eating, that I was getting into my body. So I'm trying to switch back to burger patties and beef, eggs, and cheese. So in the next week and a half or so, hopefully I'll have some good news. This has been so sketchy and so questionable. I don't even know what to think. Like everything that I read, all the ingredients that I put in my protein shake says it should be non-inflammatory, non-physically negative. It should be positive. Everything was organic, and everything was good, except for it wasn't. It did slowly degrade, and for me, it's not like it. It's not like if you drink too much one night, you realize the next day, holy shit, my body is like rebelling. It's not like that. It's like a little tiny bit at a time. Your body just slowly degrades until noticeable things happen, like your balance. The neuropathy in my hands is the biggest part. One of the things that I did read is that glycation can cause pretty bad neuropathy, and it can be confused with just diabetes related neuropathy, even though the glycation is the neuropathy. And glycation, I haven't quite figured out how to get rid of glycation. The only way that I can see on how to get rid of glycation is to do longer term fasts and have your body use autophagy to eat up all the bad parts. So today I'm actually starting a longer fast, a 36-hour fast, if I can do it. I hope I can do it. It's been so difficult for me to fast lately. I'm so freaking hungry. But I know I need to fast. I got to get this whole glycation thing reversed. I think this has been what I'm dealing with for the most part for the last even 2 or 3 years. More so than diabetes or neuropathy from diabetes. Well, of course, I know that my A1C was high, and the diabetes was an issue. But right now, I'm barely eating any sugar, very low sugar at all, and I'm assuming that my A1C is extremely low, probably non-diabetic, non-pre-diabetic. I'm just dealing with the long-term effects of what that caused. And everything I read said that you can't necessarily reverse um, you can't reverse glycation like using just by stop eating sugar or stop eating carbs. You can't reverse glycation like that. The glycation has to be reversed by rebuilding. So now I'm trying to figure out, how do I use autophagy and longer term fasting to reverse this glycation in my system? And if this works, holy shit, I figured some good stuff out. And what I really hate is that there's not too much information on the internet talking about any of this stuff. They all want to talk about A1Cs and reversing diabetes, reversing prediabetes. But this whole thing with glycation and what I'm dealing with, it's extremely difficult to find any information that even talks to it. So that's the two things that I'm mainly focused on now, is changing my diet again to try to resolve some of these issues that I've gotten and try to get some of this weather related stuff resolved. The other thing that I keep seeing on the news that I'm just shocked is this thing with California and the fires. I mean, it's no surprise what happened when they decided to stop hiring based on qualifications, and they chose to stop hiring based on gender or sexual orientation, or more so when they chose to start hiring based on gender, sexual orientation, or race. I don't know how that can turn out positive. I mean, I get that everybody needs a chance, but for crying out loud, you can't like choose to hire a portion of your workforce just because of their race or gender. You're going to lose out on the skills and the talents in the workforce, and you're going to lose. I'm going to be honest, I would never buy stock in a company that is primarily focused on this EEOE or whatever it is, where they're focused on hiring based on race or gender. I would never buy stocks in a company like that because they're going to lose, just like they're all losing now. And the layoffs are starting, just like I said probably 2 months ago. The layoffs are starting. They're laying off all those people that they had to hire based on race and gender. They're laying them all off because it's not working out. So now they're laying them all off. They're going to have to rehire. Hopefully this time they'll hire based on qualifications instead of whatever the government's forcing them to hire on. Anyways, this is another thing that's just extremely stressful and frustrating in my life. This is the literal hardest time in my life that I've ever had. I've been through a war. I've been through a long-term dysfunctional marriage. And this right now is the hardest time in my life. I can't get back to work. My health is like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about my health. I mean, I do have state benefits, and I'd like to try to get back to see a doctor again and figure that out. Hopefully in the next couple of months I'll be able to do this. Anyways, this is just a quick update for the folks that are following my story, and maybe a little bit of just general chit chat. Hope you're having a great weekend. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.